What's up, guys? For those of you coming in. Hi, guys. Welcome to Nora Christine Live. We are going to be talking about Joe Biden's health tonight. Was there a massive cover up going on with Joe Biden's health? An article I've come across is saying there was. So if you guys are watching, please hit the like button, send this out to like 10 friends. Let's get the word out here. Um, so I'm going to start by saying us on the right, we've totally been vindicated because Joe Biden, it's very apparent that there was a cover up. This past year, we've been lied to. We were told nothing's wrong with Joe Biden. He's healthy as an ox. You don't need to worry. Um, so the question is, was Joe Biden's aides acting undemocratically by covering this up? Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. We are the United States of America, and we are, told we're to uphold the Constitution. I definitely think that it's fair to say that Kamala Harris was undemocratic. Why do I say that? I say that because Kamala Harris, per the Constitution, has a duty as the vice president to ensure, okay, that the president is fit for duty. Um, Many people don't know about that amendment, and it's real and it's there, and that's something that we need to talk about. The aides were complicit as well. Don't get me wrong, the aides were complicit as well. The 25th Amendment, guys, the 25th Amendment, she had a duty to uphold it. The United States Constitution outlines the process for the vice president to temporarily assume the powers of the president if the president is deemed unable to discharge. Okay, then she's supposed to then take this to Congress, okay? And two-thirds vote. They're supposed to vote in two houses for a temporary transfer of power. This should have been done, guys. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't know why we all can't say that this was a massive cover up and we were being lied to. That to me is the hardest part. It's like, why can't we all get together and say, hey, something was a mess, something wasn't right. Okay, it's important. It really is, guys. It's super important to hold these people accountable. They're being paid tax-paying dollars to be held accountable, and if they're not, we should be able to say, hey, something's not right. Tapping is clapping, guys. Hit the like button. For those of you watching on TikTok, if you like what you're seeing, please go to my live stream on YouTube, link in bio. So let's get into some of these clips tonight, okay? First, number one person we need to call out, and I agree with most people on this, is Jill Biden. Jill, you should have said, honey, you ain't 100%. Time for you to go sit down. Let's enjoy each other. Let's enjoy your retirement, and let's sit this one out. Let's take a break. Let me play this clip for you guys uh, of Jill Biden. Was she hungry for power? That's the question. Here's the clip.
In North Carolina and across America who are working hard to find a secure place in the middle class. The moms who worry that they're
Oh, I get that. I get that. Okay. PBS, Ms. Lopez.
She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
Guys, we're gonna watch another clip. Just 1 second, I have to do something. Let me see if I can find a long one while I go. Okay. All right, here's a good one. This is Fox
The
News. Let's
media
watch
here
this.
is the real scandal. Of course, the people in Biden's orbit were trying to protect him. That makes sense. The question is, why was the media carrying water for the Democratic Party? And the answer is because they were deathly afraid that Donald Trump would win, not because he's a threat to democracy, the way they were always saying, but because his policies represent a threat to the hegemony of the elites. The media in America are part of the elites. And so their interests, their economic interests, are aligned with the rich. And that is why they carry water for the Democrats. It is so simple. And Donald Trump was the first president in his first term to shrink the income inequality in this country in 60 years. And so the media fought him tooth and nail. And I'm so glad you're pointing it out that the media is the real original sin here. It's not accountability when you speak truth to power to somebody who has no power anymore and is a cancer-ridden old man who can't hurt you anymore. When they had access, they carried water for him. And now that he has no power, they're lining up to kick him, and it's disgusting. The point that President Trump made today, which is, okay, so who was actually pushing all of this policy, right? You know, Michael, you're acting like because the media made a bigger deal out of a fake P-tape than they did over 11 million illegal migrants invading this country. Therefore, that was actually a bigger deal. It wasn't. The mainstream media is totally in the bag for the Democratic Party because that is where their interests lie. We cannot accept their rules for things. They turn everything about Trump into a scandal and they protect everything that Democrats do. The American people simply had enough of it. And that's when all of this broke, was when the American people saw with their own eyes what the media worked so hard to keep from them.
Pretty much, if you hate Trump, it's okay to do undemocratic things, guys. If you hate Trump, it's okay to lie. It's okay to do horrible things. That's the justification, guys. And this is not right, guys. Tap the screen. Tapping is clapping. If you like what you're hearing, tap, tap, tap. Let's stay on the For You page. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Also, if you like what you're seeing, please go watch my YouTube, link in bio. Also, Pretty much he said Fox News Sunday host Shannon Beam questioned Thompson about the antidote. Who could have been running the White House in a second Joe Biden term? Reading aloud from the book, Bream quoted an aide as saying Biden just had to win and that he could disappear for 4 years. He'd only have to show proof of life every once in a while. His aides could pick up the slack. And now we learn that Joe Biden has stage 4 cancer. How could that have been possible, guys? Please, I want to know. How would that have been possible? What would have happened is we would have had the first Black vice president turn to become the first Black woman president. And I use that loosely, Black Indian woman president. And so that would have been the outcome. We know Joe Biden's probably, unfortunately, and I don't say this proudly, but it's facts. He's probably most likely not going to make it through the year, guys. That is the reality. He's probably not going to make it through the year. And unfortunately, it is a sad, unfortunate reality, but that's where we're at. So let me get back to my clips over here. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Tapping is clapping, guys. Hit the like button. Let's go. Also, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, please give me a like. Please comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let's move on to the next clip I had. Donald's Democrats did not follow the Constitution under Biden. They did. There's a massive cover up when we have found out this week that Joe Biden and his administration had a list of people that they deemed as like threats to democracy because they were anti the big C. I don't want to say the word. That they were anti the big C, and it came out that there was a list for it. So who's the real threat to democracy and who's the real threat to the American people? I'll let you guys decide that, but let me share this clip of Byron Donalds. Also, if you're watching on TikTok and you like what you're seeing, link in bio, you can see the clip and follow me on my YouTube. Thanks.
It's a completely loaded question. What the president was talking about is he is following the advice of the White House counsel, the attorney general, and in their team, the attorneys over at the Department of Homeland Security, when it comes to deporting criminal illegal aliens. Of course, the president is going to follow the Constitution. We just had a president who was not. He was suppressing free speech of the American people. He was spying on the words of the American people when they were against his prerogatives on COVID-19. We just had a president of the United States who, quite frankly, we don't even know if he was running the country. You have the auto pen situation. You had cabinet secretaries who were never held accountable for their terrible jobs. What Donald Trump is talking about is he has a mission to deport illegal aliens out of the country. That is a mandate from the people of this country, from the voters of this country. When it comes to following the Constitution, if you want to have a specific question for him, he is answering the question in the appropriate way, following the legal advice of the team, who, by the way, has been confirmed by the United States Senate.
Republican Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida, thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, guys. So getting back to this, as you can see, he laid out all the undemocratic things. Now, going back to the article where these people justify this, it's crazy. Amid questions over who was calling the shots during his presidency, the book alleges that a trio of senior political veterans worked with First Lady Jill Biden. And guess what? Hunter Biden. Remember, guys? Remember we said this? We said, why is Hunter Biden at meetings? Turns out we were right. Hunter Biden was at meetings conducting them on behalf of Joe Biden because Joe Biden was 2 sheets to the wind gone. And this is what we said, guys. This is what we said the last year for sure. We said this during Joe Biden's presidency. And we were called crazy. We were called conspiracy theorists. We're called un-American. We're called undiplomatic because we're questioning things. We're the one that are holding these people accountable, and we're the ones being attacked. But that's okay. Sometimes being a truth teller, you get the daggers. Let's watch this clip, guys. CNN, was there a cover up? Let's see it. Check it out. If you're watching on TikTok, you can come watch on my YouTube again. Oh, wait. Present. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Are you arguing that Joe Biden was fine during his?
I'm not arguing that he was fine. I'm arguing that
you keep pivoting back to Trump, who's clearly fine. I'm just asking you if you're arguing that something was not wrong with Joe Biden.
I'm so glad you asked that question. because Joe Biden's no longer the president.
But he was, and that's the story tonight.
Well, no, actually, Donald, stop. Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Hold on, guys.
Let me finish something. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. I would dearly love to see a cognitive test from him, because as somebody who's lived in the New York media market for the last 40 years, I can tell you that the Donald Trump that I knew in the 80s is not the Donald Trump that I hear today.
So your answer to the cover-up is Trump.
My answer is
your answer to every question is Trump.
My answer is
the cover-up is the story.
Always their answer.
Yes, the cover-up
always
is also
Trump's
the
fault.
president of the United
Trump's
States, who happens
fault,
to be Donald
not their
J.
fault.
Trump today. Is
you
not,
know.
yeah, you could laugh all you want.
Don't question that. Everything's Trump. It's all Trump's fault. It is funny.
No, we're not laughing. You don't want to answer the question, Scott.
Yeah.
You're president.
What question?
Julie, we're going to leave it there.
I'd love to see his cognitive test. I'd love to see
I'm
his
sure he'd
physical
be
test.
fine.
Dr.
I'm sure he
Grasso.
would. Right.
So yeah, guys, pretty much this is it, guys. This is the cover up. This is it. Like it's very clear there was a cover up. We should definitely be questioning it. The biggest thing of all is the fact that you don't get stage 4 prostate cancer overnight, folks. I'm gonna be real with you. Doctors have said it. You guys can look it up if you don't believe me. Countless doctors have called it out, and they say that this is crazy. You don't get it overnight. It takes years. So he's honestly had to have known, if he's under the regular care of a doctor, the test that they do for to see if you have prostate cancer, they would have known it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's not an overnight thing. They've known for a long time. That's the reality. And like, let's keep it 100. There was a cover up. Okay. There was a cover up going on. And now let's watch Chuck Todd. He admits that the media was involved in this. Hold on, guys. Let me share the screen. Okay, add to stage. 1 second. All right, here we go.
Spend a little bit of this in that I would argue the reason people were able to come to their own conclusion on Joe Biden is because of the media coverage. You know, look, we were subtle. He's using the back staircase. He's not using the front staircase. Hey, he's not doing any interviews. So there was this reluctance to draw the conclusion to say, is he not doing this? And that I agree with. That was held back a lot. I would argue it was also held back a lot back in the late 80s when it was clear Ronald Reagan wasn't necessarily running everything in the White House. Whether you want to call it decorum, whatever you want to call it, look, there were plenty of members of the media. I remember David Ignatius in the Washington Post, plenty of individual people questioning whether he should run. I certainly questioned whether he should run. You didn't understand, there were some of that. But I understand the argument about the collective on that front. The only thing I can chalk it up to is this, whatever you want to call it, this fear that some members of the media had sometimes that they would be perceived as helping Trump if they somehow diminished Biden, right? That it was some sort of zero-sum game. Mm-hmm. And I think this has been the fundamental mistake that many members of the traditional press have done.
Fundamental mistake? Well, you didn't do anything to stop it, sir. You didn't do anything to stop it. And the reality is, you guys have been putting out propaganda for years. 4 years. I would say well over 4 years, but surely it started when the big C went down. Okay. That was the first big propaganda we've seen for years. I want to say it's probably been going on since JFK. I'll be honest with you. There's been nothing but propaganda in the United States media. That's the reality. This is why independent media, we are the new media, because we honestly probably reported a little bit more accurately than you guys. And even then, when we tried to tell the truth and give the accurate footage from what people are seeing in the real world, you guys say it's lying and it's misinformation and it's all sorts of things. Yeah. So anyways, questions over who was calling the shots. We found out it was Joe Biden, like I said, Hunter Biden also. Mike Donilon, Steve Ricchetti, and Bruce Reed were the core decision makers, the book's claims, adding that former senior advisor to the president, Annie Tomasini, and former White House Chief of Staff, Ron Claims, also were at times part of the group. Okay. I got questions. Let me know, chat, if you guys know who any of these people are. I'm going to Google them because I've never personally heard of these people. Hold on. Let's see. So he's attorney and former senior advisor to the United States. So he's one of the people named. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys who he is. Mhm. Hold on, guys. This is who Mike Donnellan is, okay? The other name that they mentioned was Steve Ricchetti. Never heard of this person. But I kind of out of the loop when it comes to the Democrats and the people that are running it. He's a former White House deputy chief of staff. So let me get this straight. Y'all done undercut the chief of staff and you gave more power to the deputy chief of staff. If that doesn't tell you how this whole pyramid scheme of the Democratic Party runs, I don't know what will. Bruce Reed, let's see this person. I mean, they probably all have schemes, not just them, the Republicans too. And he's another deputy chief of staff. So not even the chief of staff. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. So back to my article. Um, it says during the Fox News appearance, Thompson said he was stunned by the unnamed insider's argument that aides should run the White House as long as Donald Trump was not in office. Power, we didn't vote for aides. We voted for Biden. We voted for Trump. And that, see, the next line says these aides were not even Senate confirmed aides. These are White House aides. They were unelected people, which tells me y'all, the Republicans make jokes, the right-wing people make jokes that Obama's running the White House. Clearly he's not, but it shows proof that unelected people we did not vote in, were running the White House, guys. This is a problem. This is not good, guys. Not even Kamala Harris at least had power. At least Kamala, we voted for her. Tapping is clapping, guys. If you're listening and you're liking, you can follow along with me. I'm on YouTube and link in bio. And one of the things that really comes out in our reporting here is that if you believe, and I think a lot of these people do sincerely believe that Donald Trump was and is an existential threat to democracy, you can rationalize anything. And that's a good point, guys. That line right there is a good point. Basically, it's saying that with that line, you justify doing anything to prevent Donald Trump from winning. What lengths were they able to go to? Well, they had do not fly lists for people that they thought were threats. They had lists for people that they thought were threats. They had lists. Hey, KK, thanks for watching. I'm on YouTube. They had all sorts of things that we have now come out. So thank God for President Trump's administration, because now we're able to expose what we already sensed and what we already knew. People's bank accounts were frozen. People were on watch lists. People were being watched and followed because they questioned the government, because they questioned this regime. They literally were a regime. They were the regime. They were the people that were threats to democracy. According to the book, both Jill and Hunter Biden, I hate to say it, he's an ex-D addict, okay, were prominent and permanent fixtures within Biden's circle of trust, despite aides and insiders partially blaming Hunter for the president's rapid decline. This is scary stuff, guys. I don't know about you, but I don't want Hunter Biden anywhere near the White House. And it also begs the question, what was that little baggie of white stuff? Whose was it? Was it Hunter Biden's? I don't know, but he was pretty damn close to that White House for 4 years, from what we're hearing. He was pretty damn close. Okay. Now, let me play this clip of Jake Tapper. If you're watching on TikTok, please link in bio. You guys can watch the clip along with us. Tapping is clapping. Hit that screen, guys. I'm going to play the clip here. Let's watch the clip of Jake Tapper.
Interesting. How has writing this important book, investigating the Biden presidency, Jake, informed you about how to cover the current president?
Well, I just think in general, not Trump specific, but in general, I think that the press corps, and I'm certainly including myself, needs to worry less about politeness when it comes to these health issues, and needs to be even more aggressive when it comes to demanding transparency on health issues when it comes to the president. President Trump, while he appears healthy, he has not been transparent about his health records. And I think that that's something that the American people have a right to.
Interesting. How has writing this important book, investigating the Biden presidency, Jake, informed you about how to...
This is big, guys. They're just like acknowledging this cover up. He totally acknowledges that the book, the importance of it. I mean, Bunch of mumbo jumbo BS from the Dems as always. To understand Joe Biden's deterioration, top aides told us no one has to know Hunter's struggles, the book stated. While promoting the book, Tapper was asked about Hunter's role in the administration and influence over his father. Fueled by information garnered through interviews with more than 200 people for the book, Tapper responded, I think Hunter was driving the decision making for the people in a way that he was almost like a chief of staff for the family. It's bizarre because I think he is provably, demonstrably unethical, sleazy, and prone to horrible decisions, Tapper added. But this is what you guys wanted us to vote for. This is what you guys propped up for 4 years instead of calling it out. This is it, guys. This is it. Okay. KK, thank you, girl. I don't want any of the Bidens by the White House. Yeah, you know what I heard today, y'all? They said that woman, God, what was her name? Nancy Pelosi. She talking about some that President Biden should be on Mount Rushmore. The only place that President Biden should be is at Alcatraz with her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where the only place these people should be because this should be illegal what they did. Why is this person running the White House? This is illegal, guys. This is breaking the Constitution of the United States. Why are we not all uniting, left, right, Democrat, independent, Republican, and saying this is wrong? Yeah, we're moving past. We're in a new administration, but we need to hold these people accountable and we need to call this out for being wrong. So this never happens again. Never, ever, ever. Okay? Never, ever. So Tapper continues to say after his brother died, he cheated on his wife with his brother's widow and then got her addicted to, I don't want to say the word because I'm on TikTok, guys. That the last one thing I could say, I mean, I don't have a lot of personal regard for him. I barely ever met him. I met him like once or twice. Tapper also revealed his reaction to President Biden's shockingly disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump last June, which ultimately led him to dropping out. The CNN host who moderated the debate said he was so stunned by Biden's fumbling debate that he was messaging his producers to simply say, "Holy smokes." Yeah, holy smokes is right. Holy smokes. This is who is running the country. KK said the only books he should be in the history books as what not to do as president. Facts. Well, or how to mislead the American people. That's what he should be in the history books for. How to lie and tell the American people, I'm fine, I'm cognitively fine, all while his C-head son is running the damn country. Yeah, I said it. He was a C-head. I can't say it because I'm on TikTok. Tapping is clapping. If you're watching on my TikTok, please join the conversation and go to my YouTube link in bio. So, however, critics argue that Tapper himself was directly involved in the cover up. He is now dissecting. During a wide ranging interview with Megyn Kelly earlier this month, Tapper accepted that he missed the mark during Biden's 4-year term, but offered a glimpse into his shock while moderating the debate. The front row seat was really disturbing, he said, after describing Biden's performance as an act of self-immolation. Tapper revealed that he and fellow moderator Dana Bash had iPads that they used to communicate with during the production team during the debate. Early on, Tapper sent a message to his crew backstage. He didn't know which staff members were working, so he tried to keep it clean. I wrote, holy smokes, he told Kelly. I wanted to write holy F. Holy F. Holy F is right. Holy F. What are we doing here, people? That should have been the moment right after that debate, instead of him just dropping out. That should have been the moment that Kamala Harris invoked the 25th Amendment and took control. That's really what I thought was going to happen. Because, I mean, the guy doesn't even know what day it is. I mean, really, I mean, honestly, these people should be in jail for elderly abuse, in my opinion. And when I watched that debate, you guys can go check out my old footage on the new party. When I watched that debate, I was literally in tears because I said, how can they treat this old man like this? Why are they allowing this old man to be propped up and he doesn't even know what time of day it is? Like, really? Like, we should have all been united on this, okay? I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you guys the debates. Hold on, guys. Let me show you guys the debate so you can see what I'm talking about. If you're watching on YouTube, on TikTok, please link in bio if you want to follow along and watch the debate with us.
Cover.
Shoot. That's not the one I want. My bad, y'all. Okay. Here we go. This is the debate, guys. Just a reminder.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
I mean, I agree, KK, but that would have been where I
Well,
think
you're
they
right, he
could have
did beat
took
Medicare. He
control
beat
of the
it to
country
death,
if they
and
did
he's
the right
destroying
thing.
making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system.
What are we
making sure that we're
watching?
able to
What the heck was that? He doesn't even know the difference between COVID. He's like all over the place. Like, what the heck is this? Like, are we? This is and mind you, I want to play another clip of him from 4 years before, guys. 4 years ago. Let me share the screen. A lot has changed in 4 years. Again, I feel bad for him. I do think it was elderly abuse. I think Biden had a great, phenomenal career as a politician. I may not agree with all his politics. I also don't think he was that great sometimes in some of his rhetoric towards Black people, but he had a life of service as a politician. Let me play the clip.
Bernie, talk about with Bernie. Bernie, in fact, hasn't passed much of anything.
This
The
was
fact
just
of the matter is,
guys. What a difference 4 years made.
Look, the fact is, here's the deal. I'm not out of time. You spoke over time, and I'm going to talk. Here's the deal.
Where was this Joe Biden? This Joe Biden might have gotten my vote. Probably not, because the Democrats did so bad. But more than the bumbling old man. This guy was on fire just 4 years ago. On fire. And now this is where we're at.
Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and
Trump
we were
better
right in
watch
the middle
out. He
of
might
it.
be next.
Something
I'm just
which a lot
saying,
of
and if
people
he
don't
does,
like
I
to
hope
talk
we do the
about.
right thing.
But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third.
Let me see if I can get him
He
talking.
had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example,
He's going to what? What's he going to do? Like, the man doesn't even know, like, he just doesn't even know what day it is. Like, why didn't you fix it the last 4 years? Like, I'm not understanding. So when they give answers like that, it really bothers me, especially when they're actively president. Like, I never forget when AOC was running around last summer touring, talking about something. We're gonna take the country back. Take the country back from who? You guys are in charge. Who? What do you mean you're gonna fix it? Why didn't you fix it the last 4 years? I really hate when they say that. And the reason why they hate Donald Trump so much is because Donald Trump is not all talk and no action. He's actually taking action. Like, whether we agree with all his actions, he's taking action. Gas prices, lowest gas prices in years, Memorial Day weekend, this weekend. The inflation, lowest inflation in 4 years under Donald Trump. But anyways, going back to Biden and his cognitive ability, it's pretty clear that he was not running the country, guys. And it's pretty clear that through the use of the propaganda media, they covered this up. They covered this up. Let me play this clip with Jesse Kelly. He has a lot stronger opinion than me, and then we could talk about it, guys. Hold on. Tap the like button. Tap the like button if you're watching. Tapping is clapping. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you greatly. Let me share the screen.
So for 4 years, the president not only had dementia, he had prostate cancer, advanced prostate cancer. He was either A, treating it, or B, chose to forego treatment and die. And people all around him knew it and pretended as if he was functional for 4 years as he ran the United States of America into the side of a mountain. So again, I want to ask, who's going to go to prison? Because it's not a small thing. It's not a made-up political scandal. It's not time to move on. It's not time to focus on something else. I want to know who's going to prison for covering up the mental and physical condition of the man pretending to be president for 4 years. Donald Trump has to work 19 hours a day, trade deals, this, that. The job of the presidency is an endless, brutal grind. And for 4 years, we didn't have one. And guess what? It didn't just magically happen. People did it. People with names. People with addresses. People with faces, social security numbers, birth dates, human beings lied to the entire United States of America. And the United States of America suffered in unimaginable ways for 4 years, and we still suffer to this day. Again, let me ask, who's going to prison?
I was muted. Sorry. No one's going to prison, hun. But Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, they all should be going to prison. Also, Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, all those fools at CNN that said we were lying about his cognitive ability, they should be too, because they're involved in the propaganda cover-up. That's the reality. But it's not going to happen, guys. Joe Biden was so gone cognitively. It's so embarrassing. It's so disgusting. I don't understand how nothing's going to be done to these people. I don't understand how they're still able to remain working. Honestly, it's really truly sad. That's why I said independent media, we're the new media. You guys can continue to watch them if you want, or you can get real information and really support the truth tellers, because these people are lying to us. They're lying to us. And anyone that's a Democrat that doesn't see that, you guys are putting your party over country. That's a problem. Okay. Like, that is a big problem. Let me play this clip now of Megyn Kelly talking to Jake Tapper.
Over here in my ecosphere, we were covering all of these. It wasn't just falling down. It was getting lost. It was some of the stuff you report in your book. We knew and we were reporting on, like the multi-jump cuts in the videos of him, where it was obvious he couldn't get through a 1-minute take. It was clear to us that he was using teleprompter, and there was some reporting on that at the time, all of which the White House was denying. Now, the current White House, I have some connections. With the Joe Biden White House, I had none. But you did. There was an attempted cover-up. It could only ever work if you allowed it, if the press allowed it. Some of us tried not to, and some of us were complicit.
The Biden White House did not like me. Okay, I do not have great connections with the Biden White House.
Well, clearly, you have a lot of sources. You say you talked to over 200 sources for this book.
This
so
is
you
after
have
the
some
election.
You could have called and worked.
No, that's the point, is that they were not being honest. That's
well,
the
how
point.
did the Wall Street Journal get it in June of 2024? And Jake Tapper and CNN couldn't find sources for this story then before he dropped out?
Annie Linsky and Siobhan Hughes did an amazing job in their reporting. And they should be heralded, and I heralded them. I had them on my show right after the debate to talk about their great reporting. But Annie Linsky,
the debate, but you did not put them on when they published that story, which was before the debate.
Correct. I don't know what the booking situation was, but it wasn't because I didn't want them. I'm sure I said that day, let's book. I'm sure I said that day, let's book that. Did they?
Yeah, you put on a Democrat, and you allowed the Democrat to rip on the report as a Rupert Murdoch sponsored hit piece.
No.
It's just
Megyn.
That's
Megyn,
what happened.
If we're going to do this, let's just stick to the facts here, okay? When there is a damaging report,
that's what I've been doing all along.
I'm talking about what you just said.
Didn't miss the biggest story of the century when it comes to presidential politics, and one of us did.
Listen, folks, you guys can go back and go to my YouTube at the New Party. That's my other team. That's my podcast team that I'm a part of. And I said his health was declining before the debate, and the debate confirmed what we knew. This is the cover up, guys. They also covered up the efficacy of the shot. Okay, they said, "Oh, it's safe. There's no long-term effects." Turns out, if you said that and you question it, it was misinformation. These were the cover-ups we were going through, and now they want to backtrack and say, "Oh, we never said it was safe," or "Oh, we never said Joe Biden was good." This is the backtrack. KK is right. These people are so damn delusional. It literally pees me off hearing them because all they do is beat around the bush and make excuses. Yeah, backtrack, slide to the left, slide to the right, like they do in the cha-cha slide over here when it comes to telling the truth of what they were telling us. Y'all know what I'm talking about because now we see reports are coming out that if you question these things, you were labeled like un-American. I forget the name of the official term, but I mean, it's crazy. um This is horrible. This is terrible, guys. This is who the media is. This is the people that you guys are trusting on CNN. This is the people that you guys, millions of you watch. This is terrible. I mean, it really is. And having a conversation with Democrats now, they're so delusional. It really is hard to talk to them sometimes. I'm going to be honest with you. Because those that are loyal to the party, it's hard. His health started declining before the Afghanistan withdrawal nightmare, but they don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, clearly in 2020, he was sharp. I don't think his health was declining then. I showed you guys the clip. I've heard some people say, oh, it was even back then, but I'm like, no, it wasn't back then. I think it started after he came into office. Something shifted. That's probably when he started having prostate cancer, and they probably started putting him on those meds, and the meds messed with his mind, and here we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is keeping a buck with you. That's what was going on. But, we are the new media, guys. We have every right to question things, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for telling the truth, for being truthful, for being honest. Don't make them tell you that you're crazy because you're not. Okay? Like, the fact of the matter is, we have discernment. We know what's true and we know what's not true. And people want to tell us that like that our eyes are deceiving us. And I say all that to say, just because we have President Trump doesn't mean we're 100% safe and we should let our guard down. To me, all it means is for now, some things are being uncovered. For now, some things are being questioned. You know what I mean? Like, so like, great, like at least we have that now, but we got to keep that same energy. Okay. We got to keep that same energy, because if Trump declines, honestly, guys, we need to hold him accountable too, because he's up there too in age. And the fact of the matter is, we can't allow this to ever happen again as citizens. Okay. We really need to hold these people accountable. And this brings me to my scripture of the day. We're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much. KK said we witnessed it with our own eyes, yet they want to convince us we didn't see what we knew. Facts, yeah. And this is what the government does, guys. The regimes change, the strategies and the rules that these people play and the cover-ups that they don't. So that's why I say it's not just about President Biden. We don't let our guard down. We have to hold Trump's administration accountable too. But right now he's doing a great job. I really honestly have no complaints. And so, yeah, going to the scripture. John, okay, I'm gonna read y'all the scripture. It's John 8:32. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Jesus, for the truth. And thank you for us being able to be set free, because finally we know what's true. Okay? Finally, we know what's true. KK said if Trump declines, we'll have someone in line who can actually do the damn job, unlike Kamala. Facts. JD Vance is a phenomenal vice president. He's very competent. So yeah, I mean, now I feel a little bit better if he declines. But I really hope that if he declines, we hold him accountable. But the left will. The left is already trashing him. They say he wears diapers. They say all sorts of crazy things. I mean, this is like bizarre. It's like you guys are really obsessed with him and his diapers. I mean, who cares if he wears diapers? Like, honestly, he's an old man. Anyways, guys, so like I said, the truth shall set you free. We are freed. We are vindicated. We're vindicated with the big C. And now we're also vindicated this week and tonight with Biden's cognitive decline. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already subscribing, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can know when I go live. If he wears diapers, he's one tough ass baby. A lot of old people wear diapers. There ain't nothing wrong with that. After a while, they get incontinent. So anyways, hit the like button, guys. Subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll probably be back on Wednesday night. I gotta see how my schedule's looking. But again, thank you guys for watching. God bless, good night, and have a happy